Good morning and welcome to Ask Andy. This is a daily podcast about personal injury practice in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm Andrew Neuwirth. I wanted to talk to you today about something that is sort of called, I guess, personal injury for dummies. There's that whole book series, so Eric Greenspan, the king of marketing, said I should talk about personal injury law for dummies because people have a lot of questions about, what the basics are. Do you need a lawyer? What happens? How to go about things? So here goes. In my first conversation with most clients, I have to discuss a few things. One is, first of all, I only handle people who are injured. That means if your car was damaged or you were not in your car and it was hit by another car, I really can't help you because, one, I don't get paid. Two, there's kind of very limited negotiation on car values. So that's the second point, is car values. Most people, when they're in an accident, unless they're really grievously wounded, they need their car fixed and they get upset with the insurance companies and sometimes with me that the insurance company is offering them $2,500 and they can't get a new car for $2,500. So unfortunately, I really don't get involved too much in the car negotiation process because car values are pretty ironclad. Like, you can go to Kelley Blue Book, punch in what kind of car you had, what the mileage was, what condition it was, and you're going to get a pretty good range of what the car is worth. Now, yeah, I agree, you can't buy a new car for $2,500, but if that's what you were driving before the crash, that was the value of the car, then that's what you're going to get. So that sucks, but there's really nothing about car accident cases that doesn't suck initially for the injured person. So, look, find your car, make sure you take a lot of pictures of it, find the other car if you can. It's mostly my job to find the car and get out to photograph the car, but, someone's got to find the car because the next thing is that the tow guys like to charge, $100, $120 a day for, quote, storage, even though your car is just sitting there on their lot and they're really not out any money. So, look, it's a little bit of a racket for the car guys, for the car, salvage guys. That's kind of how they make their money, is by holding your car hostage. So someone's got to pay them, whether it's you or the insurance company. Next thing, there's $5,000 in medical coverage available for 90% of the people I see in car accidents. It's called no fault. We call it PIP, personal injury protection. That's just sort of the insurance term for it. But PIP is there. It stands in front of your health insurance. So even if you don't have health insurance, there's $5,000 in medical coverage that is there for anyone involved in a car accident. And let's say you're driving without insurance, the car that hits you will pay for your medical. If you have your own car insurance, it's part of your premium. Your insurance company, let's say it's Geico, will pay PIP, and then they will go turn around and collect it from Liberty Mutual or whoever the company is that hit you. Okay? So $5,000 in PIP, you have to ask for it, and you have to get it set up. Normally my office will set that up for you. So I'll take a moment now just to tell you that this podcast is sponsored by my law firm, which is Neuwirth Law Office. It's located in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, which is a bedroom suburb of Philadelphia in Montgomery County. You can reach me on the web at Neuwirth Law, NEUWIRTHLAW.com, or by phone at 215-259-3687. So, all right, so after the basics of your car and medical coverage, what's next? The next basic thing is, were you injured? Yeah, I was injured. Okay. Did you go to the hospital that day, and is there a police report? If there's a police report, great. Usually the police in Philly will, they'll respond to the crash, I'd say 50 to 60% of the time. Other times they're busy with more serious stuff. In the suburbs, usually you'll get the suburban cops will respond and write a report. The report's usually ready in 2 weeks or so. Next is, if you're injured, you need to contact your primary care doc and get in to see them. And when I say get in to see them, you're not going in for a well visit because they'll schedule you out 3 months. You want to go in for a visit that week or sooner, okay? If you can't get an appointment or you don't have a primary care doc, or your primary care doc just doesn't want to see you, then I would suggest going to an urgent care or going to a local physical therapy place. There are all sorts of great, PT or physical therapy places and chiropractors all over the area. I'm happy to recommend them to you if you want names. Just give me a buzz or go through the website and find me. Or you can email me at andrew@neuwirthlaw.com, and I'll tell you, who's good in my area and in the general Philadelphia area. So, why do I say go get medical care? Well, the first thing is most people, feel worse 3 to 5 days after a car accident than they do on the day of, because there's a lot of adrenaline and swelling, and generally as the adrenaline wears off and the swelling wears off, if you're hurt, you'll have some more residual injuries that are not going to sort of resolve on their own. So why do you need medical care? Well, first, most likely you're not a doctor, and there are a fair amount of interventions, meaning stretching, massage, cold ice, pills, things that can help you heal. Are they going to make you feel better? Yeah, they will, but more importantly, they're going to make your body heal. So, a lot of people say, well, I don't want to take medication. I don't like taking medication. Well, that's all well and good as like a moral principle or position in your life, but if the medication's going to reduce swelling and allow you to heal faster, your moral position is maybe not prudent. And especially if your doctor is telling you to take it and you're not a doctor, you kind of have to take what the doctor's saying seriously. Do you want to get addicted to opioids or oxycodone? No. Is Percocet more addicting than some of the other, tramadol or Flexeril? Yes. Do you have to be careful about that stuff? Yeah, but are you, if you haven't been addicted to drugs or medication, for the prior 30 years of your life, you're probably not going to get addicted this time. So take your medication if it's prescribed. Second, why get a treatment? In the view of the insurance company, if you are not getting treatment from day one of the accident, you're not hurt. Sounds stupid, but that's true. So even if you try and tough it out for 3 months and then you can't bear the pain anymore and you got to go back for treatment, it looks from your records that, there was a break in care and therefore you're all better. And then when you go back to care, it's just for the litigation is what the insurance company is going to look at it for. And look, about 30 to 40% of the cases are going to settle pre-suit. What is the significance of that? The significance is that I have to negotiate on your behalf with your medical records for a value of the case to get the case settled. If you don't have medical care or medical documents, there ain't much to negotiate with. So go do your medical care, even if it's once a week. Do your treatment so some healthcare provider is at least documenting that you are still injured, you need care, and this is what the care is. If you don't need medical care, look, we're not trying to make a case, out of something that's not there. That's just not, smart, prudent, or reasonable. It doesn't help you or help me to be, inflating case values if there's no injury there. Plus, it allows us to settle your case once your injury is fully resolved. So I do want you to get care, but you got to get care regularly from the date of the accident forward so that we are documenting what is bothering you. It's not enough that you say, my back still hurts, or you email me and say, my back still hurts. That doesn't really count for very much in court. You need to have a medical provider evaluating you and observing you and treating you and saying, yeah, her back still hurts from this car accident. So that's enough for today. That's just, we'll call it Ask Andy 101 on, car accidents or personal injury for dummies. And then I'll go through slip and fall and some other stuff in the coming days. All right. So that's been Ask Andy. I hope you had a great day yesterday, and I hope you have a good one coming up. Take care.